Meantime, back in Washington, Democrats remain wary of the incoming administration's ties to Russia. Here to talk about that and other topics, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, California Congressman Adam Schiff. He joins us from Washington tonight. Congressman, thanks for being here. I want to get your assessment of the confirmation hearings so far, what you've heard from the national security nominees for the president-elect about the issues that you've been talking about, and mainly your concern about their ties, potential ties to Russia.
Well, I had a chance to watch only part of Mike Pompeo's testimony today, but I thought his opening statement was excellent. I like the fact that he didn't pull any punches when he was asked about Russia's hacking of our democratic institutions, and his commitment essentially to put politics aside, that he has a different role to play as director. I know he has the capability of doing the job well. It will require him to put that political side of him, the partisan side of him, to the side, but I think he can do it, and I was impressed with what I saw today.
You know, senators were briefed, classified briefing, I think the House did too, on what the intel community knows about the hacking around the election. Here's Senator Bob Corker coming out of that briefing.
It's pretty clear. I think we know exactly what happened. So having investigations about that don't seem to me maybe to bear a lot of fruit. I mean, these are 4 agencies that have done a lot of work. It seems to me that what we might want to focus on in a huge way is how we prevent these kind of things from happening.
So for the people who say that Democrats are really hitting this hard because they want to undermine the incoming Trump administration or somehow make it illegitimate, how do you respond?
Well, this is something that ought to concern all Americans. We had a major adversarial power hack into our institutions and in an effort to influence the outcome of the election. I don't think that's something that we can simply say, okay, that's the past, we're going to move on. There's a lot we still don't know about this, and frankly, we have a president-elect who still has trouble acknowledging what the Russians did or that it was intended to help him. But more than that, what began as an intelligence gathering operation by the Russians became something quite different, something we've never seen here before. And there's a lot more, I think, that we need to learn about this. After 9/11, we certainly knew al-Qaeda was responsible, but there was a lot more to learn, and it was appropriate there to form an independent commission. And I think that same kind of independent look at this is warranted here.
You know, but you've said that you think, and your pretty pointed statements about President-elect Trump somehow denigrating the intelligence community. The National Intelligence Director called the President-elect. He said this, James Clapper, "I expressed my profound dismay at leaks that have been appearing in the press, and we both agreed that they're extremely corrosive and damaging to our national security. I emphasized this document," we've been talking about the dossier thing, "is not a U.S. intelligence community product, and that I do not believe the leaks came from within the IC. President-elect Trump again affirmed his appreciation for all the men and women serving in the intelligence community, and I assured him that the IC stands ready to serve his administration and the American people." So is James Clapper wrong?
No, I think James Clapper was exactly right to make the statement that he did and to, frankly, make the call that he did. These leaks are corrosive, and I think he properly calls that out. But I think it's also the case, as we have seen on multiple occasions now in tweets at the press conference, the President-elect has really denigrated the intelligence community, has called their integrity into question, has basically said he doesn't believe the intelligence on Russian hacking, notwithstanding that's the consensus view of all the agencies. We've only seen the smallest concession. Well, that's not what he said in the statement because the statement only went so far as their conversation. But you'd have to have been oblivious to all of the tweets over the last few weeks and all the statements coming from Donald Trump to think he's been anything but disparaging of the men and women in the intelligence community.
But he talks about the politicization of the leadership of the intelligence community, not the men and women who work inside Intel protecting the nation every day, correct?
Well, I think that's a distinction you're making. I don't think he has made any such distinction because if you look at the, again, and we have to go by the way he communicates, which is through his Twitter account, it has been just, I think, devastating to the intelligence community and, you know, continuing even in the face of all this evidence of Russian hacking to liken this to mistakes made over Iraq. I mean, all of that is not directed at just a few people. Yeah. It's directed at the entire intelligence community.
Let me wrap up with this. What is your biggest concern? right now, national security-wise, heading into this new year and this new administration, this new Congress?
Well, I think it's twofold. In terms of adversaries, I'm very concerned, obviously, about the Russian threat and the degree to which Russia is propagating their authoritarian model all around the world, and it's an assault on democratic institutions everywhere. Obviously, the threat of terror, the threat from Iran and ISIS are also very significant, and something has to be a core focus of ours, as well as North Korea. But more broadly than that, and with respect to the fight between the President-elect and the intelligence community, I remain concerned that he will ignore the straight scoop from the intelligence community when it doesn't suit his interests. And that has been what we've seen over the last few weeks, and if that continues as president, it will be very damaging to our national security.
But just to be clear, you've heard some encouraging things from some of the nominees testifying.
I have. You know, I like General Mattis a great deal. Again, I think Mike Pompeo is a very bright, capable guy. I think General Kelley is also a very capable guy. There are others, frankly, in the cabinet that worry me a great deal, and I have a lot less confidence in. But certainly there, I think, are some adults in the room and some sober voices.
Congressman Schiff, we really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.